start recording. Thank you. So guys, like really welcome to everyone. If this is your first time here, I just want to say welcome, and this is a safe space. This is actually the time that we learn and we start telling, we actually vent our problems, or we want what we want to do, what we want to achieve. And it's extremely important, to just to be open to learn. And for today's topic, I'm delighted that Adalesa is going to teach us about email marketing. Especially for me, email marketing is just one of those things that it give me like, I don't know if you guys rely with me, but it just give me like, another email coming. And I just have this relationship about, I love them and I hate them. And I remember saying to Adalesa, I need to know about email marketing because I hate them until I buy something from email marketing. So it needs to be something around, So you actually hate them and then you realize actually works because here I am buying something from an email marketing, So Ada, please bring the light to,
Yes. Let me share. I was literally just talking to Andrea, and I was like, well, there's just so much to cover, but there's just not enough time. So I'm going to do this, and I put together a presentation, so then I can just share with you some of my my thoughts on this. So I hope you can see my screen. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Yes, all good.
Perfect. So the way that the roundtable works for you if you're first time joining us, and thank you very much for coming, is that we love to see your face because this is a roundtable. We're going to get to talk and then discuss a little bit if you have any questions or if you want to bring your thoughts about the topic. So we're going to do this at the end, and we normally do around 15 to 20 minutes of the presentation, and then we open the roundtable for discussion. Use the chat question if you have any questions in the meantime, or if you have any thoughts during the first 15 minutes. So here on the first questions, you can literally or answering on the chat, or you can just open your microphone and tell me how many times do you check your email every day?
Me.
Yeah. How many times?
Oh, how many times?
Yes.
For me, it's almost constant.
Yeah. And I did twice, 25 times, 4 times, constantly, all the time. Yes. So basically, I did a poll on LinkedIn this week, and I asked how many times do you check your email? And the answers that I put in the poll were 100 times, 50 times, twice a day. And there was a lot of people saying that they check their email 100 times and 50 times. And basically, it's just like if you have your email open on your desktop, and this is just all about just keep focus, so you constantly just check if there is something there, and if there is something there, you go and open, even though if it's not urgent, you still do it. But what we're going to talk about is just basically, yes, you also, that is another thing, you also have it on your phone, so you're constantly checking your email, you're checking what is coming. So and with all of this is just basically some numbers and just statistics with the let me see, I had another okay. So the agenda for today that we're going to talk is just about the email marketing. Email marketing is that something that it's a topic of discussion. How big is your package? This is in terms of the titles that we put on the emails, and the 80-20 rule on the email marketing. So about the numbers on the emails, we get so many emails every day, but in terms of marketing, there are many things that we need to learn about emails. And then one of the things is that they're a very good source of revenue. Emails, it's a very good return of investment. So it's for every $1, and this is just some statistics that I got from Overlo, that is for every $1 you spend on email marketing, you can expect an average return of 42%. Email marketing helps to grow your business. This is a small and medium business still rely on email marketing as their primary customer acquisition channel. 9 out of 10 emails marketers use marketing to distribute content organically. So it is a great source of for email marketing. So that's why we're going to talk about this, and then just to discuss to see if email marketing is that. And to talk about this, I'm going just to tell you the story about Mark. Mark, it was a guy that I just found on my Instagram feed once, and he was here trying to tell me something. I didn't know him, didn't know anything about him, and he kept showing up on my Instagram feed. And he kept showing up and he kept showing up until I just literally just like and listen what was Mark wanted to say. And when I pressed the play button, I realized that Mark was literally talking to me. Mark was telling me like I was struggling with something with my business, with the structure, with the marketing, and Mark was telling me exactly the way that I could sort that out. So so he kept coming up on my news feed, and then at some point what I did was sign up. I clicked the sign up button and I signed up into Mark's newsletter because Mark was already talking to me, and I already knew it was Mark was his name, and he was talking about marketing, and I love marketing, and I always wanted to learn about new things on marketing. So then I just signed up on his newsletter. What happened after this was that I just started getting emails from Mark, okay? But the emails that were actually very interesting. Every email had a really interesting subject line that made me open the email. And some of the emails were about Mark lives, what he did over the weekend, Mark next adventure, and Mark issues like challenges on their business. And I could relate about the things that Mark was telling me all the time. And at some point he was mentioning as well that he had some training courses, he had a book that he launched, but he actually always gave me really good information. On the information I was getting, I was always getting tips, I was getting valuable information, and I was getting, the more important here, it was every single piece of information, it resonates with me, and it was talking directly to me. So I had already had kind of a business relationship with Mark. I knew what Mark was doing, what he was working on, and I felt like it was somebody that I would actually enjoy working with. You know, I wanted to, you know, work with Mark and probably just learn a little bit more with Mark. I just realized obviously that Mark was, he had some products, he was selling something, but not everything was about selling his product. He was really building a relationship with me. So I had this guy, Mark. So at some point I was talking to my friends, I was checking on something online. I was like, oh, look, this is what Mark said the other day. And yeah, oh, look at this. Oh, look, this is Mark on Instagram. Oh, it's so fun. He was doing this on Instagram. But the reality was that I had that kind of relationship with Mark just via email. We literally never get to know like personally, but I got to know him, and because I was so into it, and over the time, so it didn't happen in just one day. So this relationship was building over a lot of emails and over a lot of weeks and over a couple of months. So usually, and these are the structure of like emails, usually it takes like from 8 to 12 emails to get the brand, you know, to resonate with you, or for people to actually just click on an offer or on a service. For me, it took like 2 months to start just clicking and checking more information from Mark. And then it took me a couple of months to start just actually paying for Mark services. But I went from receiving just newsletter from Mark to receiving a newsletter, a personalized, more personalized, because I was already on Mark's team. So I went from not knowing Mark to start getting to know Mark to be a very good friend with Mark. and I pay for his service, and then I start being part of Mark's family. Okay. The most interesting part, it was that our relationship changed, and all the emails that I started getting from Mark also changed, because I was feeling that I was part of his business, of his teamwork.
I just have a question, but how did you feel that you were like, how someone can break that barrier if actually never, like, what makes you feel that you were part of his network?
I was feeling because of the type of information that changed. So once I bought that ticket to Mark's training, I started receiving a different type of information. So I was getting more into the business. I was getting personalized training that was not available as a free update things, letter of sessions that maybe were not for everybody. It was just private sessions.
Okay.
Or
So
I had
actually, you like, that is actually interesting. So Mark didn't stop selling you emails after you purchased. All the opposite, became even more personalized, even closer.
Yes, and this is literally a true story, because Mark is still in my life after like 2 years that I bought the training, and it's just so fun because I keep just seeing the information online, and I keep like, oh look, now he's just actually just selling the trainings to LinkedIn. So it's just the relationship just became, because he was already there. At certain point, I was just receiving an email, and then he was like, oh, I'm going to be online later on. And then I was like, oh, okay. I knew it was an automated message. He has a full team that was doing the messages, but it was like, hey, Ada. And then he was referring to me as Ada. And, it was the type of message. It was the opening, the subject line, and how he was opening, and what was the storytelling inside the email that made me feel that he was all the time just talking to me. And then the coherence that was on the message, because there was a coherence between what he was saying on the email, on the subject line, and then what was happening on the live session that we had, or he had online, or he had something. So there was always that coherence. So I got to feel that I actually knew Mark for all the information that we were sharing. So, and what made me just open the emails was always the subject line, okay? And the subject line is the next slide. That is how big is your package? So basically, this is a subject line, but without context, we wouldn't know actually what does it mean. Any thoughts?
You don't really want to know my thoughts.
I'm not saying a word.
Yeah, so I'm just going to.
So this can be from Amazon, okay? This can be from a DHL, and this is coming just from a DHL. Like if you're waiting for a package, and then, it's like, or how big is your package, to see like what kind of courier do I have to send to collect your package, okay? But if there is no context, so then we don't know actually what do we have to expect. So this is why the subject line is just so important. The subject line is what is going to make your email stand out when, you open the email and you have 50 emails there, and you're like, oh my gosh, should I open one of them, or should I just delete all of them altogether? So what we want to do when we do email marketing is just make that subject line first, it is in a context, so you're talking to your ideal client and you know what you're going to talk to, and then it has as well coherence with what is coming inside. So this is I just love that. The subject line, yes, it's what is going to make that the subscribers on your email list actually open your email. The subject lines was what made me just get that friendship relationship with Mark, because every subject line was actually very interesting, and it was it was a very friendly subject line that made me open the email and then read and then follow up and then take actions. And then if he was saying like, hey, look, would you like to go into this survey, and then the survey was just to get to know more marketing material. Yeah, I'll be happy because, if you have been sending me so many valuable information, so much tips and stuff, of course I can help you out with something. But the subject line is what it's going to make the difference between the open rate of your emails and then the emails that actually just go directly to the bin. So I have a list of subject lines that they work pretty well. And I usually, what I do is that I tend to write to the email first and then just put the subject lines depending on what I'm saying and then what I want, the subscriber just think. But if I see a subject line like, thanks, Adalesa, I would be like, okay, what did I do? I would want to see what is coming inside. If I get a subject line, something like as discussed yesterday, yes, I need to just think about who I was talking to. So then I will probably just open the email. Can I ask you a question? This is actually a pretty popular subject line. So if you want to use it, just think about it, or you can twist it a little bit. But can I ask you a question? It's a very, very popular, and it's popular because it gets a lot of a higher open rate. Here's how to. If you are teaching something, if you have any kind of training or something, or small tutorials, this is a very good subject line if you're going to explain something inside. Here's how to grow your business. This is how to get to a 6-figure coaching business. Your invitation is inside. Perfect. I will want to see where you're inviting me to. I'm inviting you to the roundtable tonight. Thank you for coming. I thought you may like this. Oh, let me see. Of course, if you thought about me, I want to see what is inside the email. Are you free for a chat tomorrow? This is something that I will for sure open and check out, because if you're taking the time to send me an email to talk tomorrow, I just wanted to know what happened. And then I miss the boss again. And this is a subject line that will make me open. And then normally the email that will go inside that, it will be a storytelling, 100% with a point. One thing that I always say about storytelling is just always do storytelling with a point, just have a point at the end. So, but I miss the boss again. It's just like, I know for sure that there's a story behind that. Like, when was the last time? Why do you keep missing the boss? What happened? And then the 80-20 rule on email marketing. So if you have heard about the 80-20 rule on email marketing, it will be always give 80% of value and just 20% of sales. So 80% of value, and I mean with this, you can do, let's say if you're doing email sequences, okay, to reach your clients, you think that 80% of the content on the email sequence needs to give value to your potential client. So, and then the 20% will be a sale. If you give value, once you do some kind of sale, or once you put outside an offer, so you have more chances that that the potential client is going to click on the offer, okay, because you're creating trust. And we always talk about creating trust and awareness, so then you can actually convert. And then I'm going to give you just some tips, and I probably just get you can take note about the questions, because here is it gets interesting as well. So the first tip is using an email marketing platform. So the MailChimp is just very popular, but there's so many email marketing platforms that you can use, and you can actually start using it for free. Okay, and there are many different platforms that you can use, like to have up to 500, 1,000, or 2,000 contacts on your email list. And then the email marketing platforms, what they do is that they will basically just automate all the emails, and they automate the system. So you can just start building those emails over time, and then they can start be sending every time somebody just signing up to your email list. one thing to keep in mind as well is that your email list is your database, and it's a really, really important asset inside your business, because the email list is an asset, it's a contact details that you own. Okay, you don't own any of your followers on social media. You don't own any of the followers on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or LinkedIn. Those are owned by Mark Zuckerberg, but they're owned by the social media platforms, not by you. The only contacts that you actually own are the contacts that are on your email list. And if they still on your email list, it's because they're still on the information you're providing. When somebody is not interested anymore, there is just a button that says unsubscribe. You can unsubscribe at any time, and people can unsubscribe to your list at any time. So unsubscribers are never a bad thing, because unsubscribers are people that are not your clients. So that's good. So while you have people on your email list, it's because you still have potential clients. Sign up to another email list. So this is another tip. You can sign up to other lists of people that you actually follow, that they motivate you, that they inspire you, or if you just want to check what other people are doing, like what are the email lists of other coaches, what are they sharing. I sign up into like so many email lists, to be honest. I have to check that out at some point. And then recycle the content. MailChimp ends up in spam most of the time. Yes, I'm going to tell you something about the automations. So the last thing before I go to the questions is just recycle your content from other platforms. And when I mean recycle your content is that if, for example, you are doing a kind of storytelling post on LinkedIn, you can use the same text to put it on an email and send it to your email list. You can talk about a topic. If you do a post on Instagram, and then you can talk about the topic on the email and then link the email to your Instagram account, or you can link your email to a YouTube video, or you can email you can link your email to other piece of social of content of social media. You can also,
we actually have a super interesting question about MailChimp here. They said like MailChimp emails ends up in a spam most of the time or promotion folder. Is there anything we can do about that?
Yes, so basically the email marketing platforms, what happened with MailChimp is that MailChimp just become too popular. It was kind of one of the first, and it become too popular. And then they have a lot of things inside the platform that are images and templates and stuff that the emails, they read that information as a spam. So that's why they send it as a spam. Okay, or it happened también, sorry, my Spanish just came out. It also happened that whenever if you're using the free version of MailChimp, there are configurations that basically make that the emails go to spam. It happens. So what things that you can do will be maybe or using a different platform, or you can just go to the paid version and just organize a little bit the configuration, so then you don't have to do like double authentication from the subscribers and this kind of things. So yeah, those are like a couple of things, but I would say that MailChimp is actually trying to improve this part. But I wouldn't say it's MailChimp, but it's just the emails itself. So Gmail, Yahoo, Microsoft, that they're reading those algorithms as a spam because they have been using so much. So yes, roundtable, questions, chat. Tell me, what do you think?
So just to jump in to the answer about the emails, the other thing you can do is limit the number of emails you send. One of the reasons why MailChimp has got such a bad reputation is because people spam everybody all at once, and 10,000 emails go out all at once. If you scattergun and send out loads and loads of emails, all the same email, constantly with the same subject line and stuff like that, same imagery and all this kind of stuff, it will pick up your spam regardless of what system you use. So you can get an email address from Google and send out emails using that. There's ways of actually automating that email yourself, and you'll be banned and you'll be put as a spam if you keep doing it all the time. So you've got to be careful about your emailing out and not just scattergun email the same crap effectively all the time. So changing your subject lines, changing your text, making sure that the actual emails are different every time. Use different words. Make sure that you're not using spammy words like buy now, cheap deal, all this kind of stuff, because they're the things that people are picking up on. And the AI behind the spam alerts is very, very simplistic. It's looking for things that other people have recorded as spam. So on your list, if you send off an email to somebody and they mark you as spam, everybody's going to be marked as spam. So everybody, if you use an Outlook and you get marked as spam, everybody using Outlook will mark you as spam. Everybody, if you send to somebody on Gmail and they mark you as spam, everybody using Gmail will be marked as spam. So you've just got to be careful of actually who you send to. So just be aware of actually, when you're building your list, make sure that it's relevant to them. And always, especially in the UK and Europe, make sure you've got unsubscribe functions on there, so the users unsubscribe rather than marking you as spam. And then do things like asking people to whitelist you and say that you're not spam and all that kind of stuff. That helps as well. So the more people mark you as not spam, counteracts the people that aren't marking you as spam. So there's things like that you can do. So systemization isn't always the process. It isn't always the solution. Sometimes it's just as simple as on your email saying, if you no longer want to hear from me, that's fine. Just click here and I will never send you another email, and don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
things like
Darren,
that you can do.
Darren, you are hired. You are hired. You are perfect for the job. No,
Yes.
it's actually it's very good point. Sorry, just to add, because I actually came to my spam inbox just actually at the time that Darren and you Ada were talking, and I actually just filter what Gmail will consider as a spam just by the title, you know. And there are those so super sassy emails like you can become the next millionaire, and then the other one
out.
Exactly, out. And then the other one was like, are you looking for me? It's like, okay. And then the other one was like confirmation received, and then like in brackets, ticket for heaven. And so it's something as well that I have been learning thanks to, you know, Ada and experts like you, is that it's better to do it right, you know, since day one. And that means that perhaps if you don't have any knowledge of email marketing, go to someone, you know, or go to an expert who actually does email copywriting, and then start, you know, getting some good advice of those people, because you can be disappointing. It's like, oh, email marketing is not working, when it does work. It's just it's a matter to find a way that it works for your client.
Yeah.
Ada, I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
One, you mentioned there's hundreds of providers for emails.
Yeah.
What others would you recommend besides MailChimp?
Besides MailChimp, I personally use Aweber. Okay, I can actually just put the link here, and
but that's a different level. It's not free.
Well, like, one thing is that I always just recommend Aweber, because I find there is Aweber, there is ActiveCampaign. There are plenty of email marketing platforms that you can use. And the thing is that once you can start, because we use Aweber, I use Aweber, and we also use Kajabi. So we use Kajabi because it's everything integrated. So whenever you start, let's say that you have a training course, as we do, and then you want to have everything integrated, so it's better to have just everything in one platform. But if I have just a digital marketing agency, and I also have my coaching business, and I do want to send emails or a newsletter to my prospect clients, the only thing that you will need is just a platform that maybe you can build a landing page, and then you can have the integrated email marketing integration into the same platform. And in that sense, I use Aweber because I can do everything there. I recommend it because you can also do it for free, up to 500.
Active campaign too. Active campaign is really
Active campaign
too.
is another one. And the one thing is that once you get to understand how these platforms work, they basically work. So back then they were kind of the same. Okay, it's just learning how to do the automations, how to upload the messages. Okay, and then here's the, so how to upload the messages, how to do the automations, how to tag them, and this is just another like quite an extent that we can do it after if you want to. I can do I showing like the backstage of the platform, so then how to do all the tagging and stuff. But once you master that, is
Ada,
yeah.
there is another super interesting question here that I need the
call to
answer.
action.
Can I ask my second question before?
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, sorry, Jorge.
Yeah. The second question is, why are you twice in the Zoom room with the same name but different faces?
That's my yes, we have I don't know, like to reset.
Darren knows the answer. Where are you, Darren?
Yes.
So the problem is when you join any Zoom call, if you don't have an account, you're asked for your email address and name. If you just skip that, it just puts the name of the host.
Yeah.
It's a Zoom thing. It just enters a name because it needs a name, so it just takes the host name.
Oh, so
Yeah.
next time I could put Darren's name on mine.
Yeah, if you've not got an account, I've got an account, so mine always pops up automatically. I don't have to pick a name. If you don't have an account, you can pick anybody's name. You can sign on as Bob.
Yes. So let me just answer this question about the call to action. Shall we always have a call to action? How often to send emails? Struggling to generate email list? Any free good platform? So I give you the free good platform. I think I also add the email, the link to Aweber if you want to use that one. I also add the link into, because I know that I won't have time to answer like everything. We can go into details if you want to book as well, 45 minutes of a call with us, and then I can just go through your email list if you have struggling to generate people to your email list. Because to generate the email list, there are many factors. Okay, there are many factors and there are many ways that you can generate them. So you can generate it by having a free information that you give to your contacts, because this is just a give. So I won't give you my email unless you give me something else. Okay, so there is this transaction there, and then always call to action. You can put the call to action if there is something that is it needs to be said. There is no need to put a call to action all the time. So sometimes you can just like literally be Mark. So send me an email to say, hey, how are you? This is what happened to me this weekend. Tell me a little bit about you. Because I feel that you're actually getting like interest about what is happening to me. It's not all about you. I am the client. So the person that is receiving the email is the client, and the client wants to feel that they matter. Okay, that they are listening to as well. So it's not always sales. So the call to action also, and this is like something, the call to action can be something that, you know, that you're interested to help that person. So the call to action can be like, hey, also, I just wanted to send you this extra information that I did last week and it was pretty good. So there is a list of the 10 things. There's a list of the 10 subject lines that work the best on my email list last year. So the call to action can always be just, you know, to make people just click on your email. So, and then I have another one here. What are your thoughts on how often we should send emails? So send emails. once a week is fine. Once a month is not so good. I would say once a week, maximum like every 2 weeks, but just try to do it once a week, so then you keep that on people's mind. So if you think, and I think I mentioned that the average amount of emails that are required for somebody to take an action, I mean to click on an email, is between 8 and 12. So if you think about that, and if you're going to do an intro to your potential clients, or then they don't know you, or then they start talking to you, they probably will need, and if you think about that, and if you're going to be sending an email a week, that it can take from 8 to 12 weeks. So yeah, the email sequences are different as well if you're introducing yourself, or if you're introducing a product to an audience that already know you. Yeah, so yeah, those will be like certain things, but yeah, and then email sequences as well. There you can build like several different email sequences depending on what do you want to do. So we are, for example, we're working as well on an email sequence for a 5-day challenge that I would love you to come. And it's actually pretty interesting, because it's just like, is this the type of information that I would like to receive? Like, how would I like to be invited to an event? What information do I want to get? What is the outreach? And I don't want to make it too long, because I want people actually to read it. And I want people to engage. Just tell me more about you. Is this something that you will be? So these are the things that you want to, that you want to know. Any other questions?
Actually, I'm interested to know, does anyone here is using email marketing at the moment? No.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm researching it at the moment, so it's this is why it's really important for me.
Yeah.
So I have to say, guys, that I was part of the I hate email marketing. Seriously, genuine. I was like, spam. I wish I can put everything in spam. And then even within our business, I have seen the benefit of using email marketing. So I think it's just about, personally, it was about to break my own beliefs, my own beliefs that they are mine. And I was thinking on behalf of the clients, like, oh, the clients hate this. And then Ada questioned my beliefs. And then she said, well, let's see. And now we see, and then we are like, okay, it's actually, it does work. However, it works if it's not too intense. It's just pretty simple email, giving some value, and then just inviting to the person to never straight actually to buy, but to come to the round table or to join the Facebook group, something in the middle. I think something that for me personally, I was afraid is to push the client to the sell. It's like a whoa, they don't even know us. But if you have something in the middle, that actually is soft, is smooth, it's like, just subscribe to my newsletter, join the group, follow me on social media. The call to action that eventually is going to bring the client to buy you, but in a very, I don't know, natural way. So that will be my takeaway from like, for me, learning from Ada. And guys, if you don't have email marketing, literally give yourselves the 45 minutes for your email marketing strategy and book that session with Ada. She's going to, help you through and really understand how you can implement email marketing in your business and how you can use it for lead generation. So I think, Ada, you put the link in the chat.
Yes, I put the link in the chat.
So yeah, book your session. Ada is full of knowledge. Take advantage of that.
One of the things that I've come across is not email marketing, but it's very similar. I've worked with renters where they rent a property to rent out the rooms. So it's a rent-to-rent HMO. So they rent a property from somebody that's already rented the property, and they rent out the rooms to people that want to rent rooms. One of the things with them is they constantly send out letters to every single person who's a property that's big enough for an HMO. And they send hundreds of letters. So I've spoken to some of these landlords that have actually gone through and actually decided to do rent. And they've said, I receive 2, 3, 4 letters a day asking me to rent out the property. And the reason why they swapped was because on one day they had a shitty customer. They got pissed off. Sorry, my language. They were not happy. And that one day they received the letter, they opened it, went, yeah,
You know what?
today's the day. And it was that person was lucky that sent the letter on that day, that, you know, 2 days prior, they sent the letter and it arrived on the day that that landlord had to deal with a really bad tenant, had to deal with a problem that they just had enough. So sometimes it's about being there at the right time. Now, email or letters, it's very similar. It doesn't matter whether you send it electronically or not.
Yeah.
It's effectively a letter. If you've got your proposition in front of the person that needs it at the time that they need it, doesn't matter how they got it. But if you can have that relationship with somebody where they know you and they, like I said, that you send out emails constantly to say, you know, how are you doing? What's your latest problem? You know, all these things where actually you're attracting that person to you and you're not selling to them necessarily. So if you're sending one email a week, maybe for 3 weeks, send just promotionally, just, you know, normal friendly emails. How are you doing? What's the latest thing? This is what I've been writing about, this my experience this week. I've had this customer and this is something that you might learn from. And then that one every 4 weeks, you send out an email to say, come to me if you want this. Because then you're constantly in their mind. And like I said, you could be that Mark. You could be that person that's actually sat there being in front of people at the right time. Because the moment where Adelisa actually went to Mark was because that was the one time where she needed that piece of help. And he just have to be talking about the right thing at the right time.
Yeah. And if I tell you, so it took me, like, my relation with Mark is over like 5 years, honestly. And I think I first just got like a subscription for like 3 months just to try how is, but it was the feeling, like literally on, like, once I bought the subscription, it was like, and my thing was like, I do really need to know what this guy is doing because the sequences are just amazing. I literally feel part of the thing, of everything. And the program that Mark had, it was like super, super expensive. And it took me 3 years, but I bought it. I bought it. I got it because I was feeling that, you know, it was that relationship. And I never, like, he never getting like the most recent updates, lessons on sales, and every 2 weeks I get an email with an update content after 2 years of buying the program. So it's just the amount of value. And if somebody asked me, I would be like, just go and see Mark. Just go and talk to Mark.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, what's your name? Yeah, you have a question. Tell me.
Hello everyone, I am Irfullah from Afghanistan. I'm a lecturer at university. My subject is marketing and marketing management. But here we have talked about email marketing. That's a good idea. Here we have studied and do a research in our country. We have studied before we did email marketing, but their response was not good. That's why the most of time here the people are using email, but they wouldn't like to give any attention for email. After our research, we identify here our people are so interested in social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram. We make some groups in a Facebook and make some pages in a Facebook and created groups in WhatsApp, Telegram. But our result is so positive here. That's why we find the need of them. We find the utilization of the social media here. But I think it's a different on the basis of a country. Maybe in a European country, maybe in America, like other country, they are using email in the most of time. But here in our country, the phenomena is totally different. That's why how we can create the awareness of email marketing here in our country. Is there any solutions for a coming 5 year or 10 year we can create awareness the email marketing? I think according to my opinion, it's so good, it's so easy, the email marketing. But the problem is here, they don't have any awareness regarding the email marketing.
Yes, so yeah, it can be things of culture, and not only culture, but I would say also the target market that you're using. Because if you're using a niche, if you're talking to a target market that is always socializing on social media, so you won't get it on your email marketing. But if your target market, let's say that they are HR managers, okay, for example, so then HR managers are working on their computers every day, they're checking their emails, so then you can get them on email. But if you're talking to let's say university students, they would probably be on Instagram most of the time, so you can get them on Instagram or on Facebook. Now Telegram, it's amazing, and you can do many things on Telegram. I think, Andrea, you have used Telegram a lot for building communities, okay? And the most important thing here is that you can get the contact of people, and what is important of email marketing is that you get the contact of people for life, okay, until they unsubscribe, but you get those contacts, and you can always send information. But it will be the same as if you have, or very, very similar if you have a Telegram community and you have people that can come on Telegram. And it's actually different because they can actually interact. So it's a community. But I would say that the most important thing is just learning where is your niche. Like if your niche is on Facebook or Instagram or Telegram or LinkedIn, but they will always, you can get them into the email marketing. So you can always get them there, because everybody needs to have an email to sign up into Facebook. They need to have an email to sign up into Instagram. So an email is always required. So maybe the people that you're niching on marketing, they're on Instagram now. But if you get them into an email list, maybe in 5 years' time, they will be using the email list, what was Darren was saying. So then maybe later on, the email list, it will make sense for them, as it was Mark. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's great. In the most recent time, we have collected both WhatsApp number along with this email. I think email is so official, but our student here using both email and WhatsApp. In the most of time, they are active and give a response on a WhatsApp number. Along with this, they are using email as well, but we didn't see any response on our emails. But now we are trying to create awareness on them to use emails and give a feedback or response on email as well.
I think one of the things you've got there, because you're saying that you're contacting students, they might not ever get to the point of using emails yet. So I found when I've done my research on email and different marketing things, when you're doing B2C, so business to customer and end customer, which is what you're marketing to, you're marketing to your end customers, your students, they tend to be social media very fast, and they're looking for quick hits. So the Instagram, a nice imagery, a video, YouTube, that kind of stuff hits better than an email, because email's slow. Email, it's not slow, it's instantaneous, but it's something where you read a lot more. And it's the equivalent of having a long post on LinkedIn and having a very short picture on Instagram. You're going to get more children and young adults on Instagram, and you're going to get business people on LinkedIn reading a long post. And if your marketplace you're heading for is only really looking for short hits of information, you probably wouldn't look at email anyway, because in maybe 10 years' time, when they're in jobs and they're, as Lester said, they're sat behind a monitor for 8 hours a day, they're more likely to catch that email than they would be if they were just on their phone with their friends and it's like, oh, I've got an Instagram post. Oh yeah, I like that. And it's nice and quick. So it's about actually working out who your marketplace is. But university students probably are not going to be email based. So it might not be your niche and not be your area for that yet. If you're looking at maybe creating a group of people for your university that have left university, gone into jobs, so you keep in contact with people that have left, email would be your ideal place. So it depends what you're marketing, who you're marketing to.
Yeah. Will that answer your question?
Thank you. Thank you for your kind response. Thank you.
No worries. Always happy to help. I think we run a little bit over the time. We're normally just run for 45 minutes, but it was a very interesting, very interesting session. So if you have any other questions, Susan, John, Kalisha, maybe it's working, or we wrap up here. We'd love to know what was the outreach if you're taking something from this session. Thank you for coming, Susan.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for coming. And well, this will be recorded. I'll send you the recordings anyway. So if you have any questions, always happy to help. John, it was nice to see you. Have a lovely.
The session is so good, but I think from the last 2 months, I'm receiving the email for the sessions, but here is a night at about at 12 o'clock at night time. But I was leaving, but I have received email in 1 hour. We will join, we will contact with to you. But from 1 hour, I worked.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for joining. We're doing this every Wednesday, so we're doing different topics every Wednesdays. And we also, like, if you want something specific as well to dive in, we can also organize that. But it's just a roundtable. Just keep talking about how to generate more leads, doing a lot of marketing and business coaching, basically. So this is what we do every Wednesday. Thank you very much for coming. Hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.